And so that's the end of the British Grand Prix for my 2023 season. I have won this, which is why that radio is going on. How the hell did he get driver of the day? He crashed out less after like 10 laps. Anyway, I was the only finisher. Everyone else in the race DNF'd, so this is like the new record. Like, I think Singapore 2022 season had 2 finishes, but this has 1. Me. So yeah, let's go through the DNFs after the driver's podium, because this is the first time I've been on the podium in a while, and it's a win. Kind of. I guess nobody else was racing, but yeah, I won. Sorry if I cough a bit, I have a cold. And there's the champagne, directly into my crew member. And there's Perez and Nobuharu Matsushita. I still think that's how his name's pronounced, but I'm not actually certain. To start the Carnage at the British Grand Prix for 2023 off, we start with the red lights, and lights out, away we go. I get off with a not very good start, so immediately sending Hamilton like that. But he's not the person we're following Valtteri Bottas, which you might have seen before I put away the driver grid order, as he is the first DNF in this race. And so I'll show it, because he goes out along with 3 other drivers, Max Verstappen, as well as Lando Norris. So he is the first one to go out of these 3, although I guess he might also be the second at the same time, we just didn't get the same distance. But I kind of pull a Verstappen 2021 from Hamilton on him, as he goes around the cops and is sent out of the race just to the side. So now we'll follow Verstappen. And as I come out of that move, I have to go a bit wide, come in, and away he goes. You can take him out right afterwards. And then there also goes Norris. I'll show it from his angle as well. So he comes around Cop's corner. I think this is Cop's anyway, up to Maggots and Maggots. I actually don't remember their names. But he then just comes in and spins into Verstappen, and then is hit by his teammate Alonso. And it's out of the race. Now I'll show the crashes from all 3 drivers' cockpits perspectives. So Verstappen got into the lead, then he got into the, and then Bottas got into the lead, and then I got into the lead. Everyone was switching positions. Very good fight until both other drivers are out. And he's out like that. Next up we have Verstappen's perspective. So he's in second. He slides up into first past me. Then he's down into third when I overtake him, and Bottas does. He sees me go wide, doesn't see Bottas's crash, and then I come into him and he's spun around. And then accidentally takes out Norris with spinning. But Norris, I feel like, could be equally to blame, although I guess all of it goes on me. But like, Norris does come in to hit him. So here we have Norris coming around Cops. I think this is Cops. And then there's Verstappen, and he just slams into him. Now I'll show it from his teammate Alonso's perspective, just to show what Alonso kind of saw. So Alonso is way further behind Bottas and Verstappen's Carnage, but he sees his teammate, and then spinning around, nowhere to go, so he just pushes him along a bit. Oh, there's the number 4, I forgot those are always on the back of these cars. The next driver to crashes out with another driver, and it is the GOAT himself, Nicholas Latifi. Obviously that is sarcasm, but yeah. He drives up the start-finish straight and just slams into the side of a car that's already out. Those tyres have just vanished on Leclerc. I'll show it from Leclerc's cinematic, and then from his cockpit, and then Latifi's cockpit. So, driving up, away with the tyres, and then they kind of vanish? What? Okay, now I'll show it from a different angle, just to see what happens. So I've pulled the camera to behind his car, and so his tyres are off, driving forwards, slams into Latifi, and they just go flying backwards. So his tyres pull looking this up, his tyres pulled a Sebastian Buemi in 2010, where the tyres just fell off. Like, I know it's not the exact same, but like, I feel like it's close enough. The tyres like flying back off the car. Now I'll show Nicholas Latifi's cockpit. Also, I know the Sebastian Buemi connection is like not really that accurate to like how the crash actually happened, but like I just think it was like something I could bring up because the tires just vanished. Anyway, that's what Latifi saw. And here is Charles' cockpit camera. And there the tires going again. Like, I know it isn't Sebastian Buemi, but I like to make that reference. Anyway, I should probably go on to the next event and stop talking about Sebastian Buemi. Pierre goes out in the same lap as Charles Leclerc's Sebastian. I'm bringing it up again. No, I'm not. I'm not bringing it up again. But so he goes out later in the same lap, because that was the start of lap, and he just comes into the... I think this is the old pit straight. I can't actually remember, but like that's the old pit straight, I think. But yeah, he's just knocked in there. So here it is from his cockpit camera, and whistled in and out with his tyre. So yeah, out of the race. While not exactly important, I think it's kind of funny that like when I go on to the advanced settings, you can like see parts of car on like the track. Anyway, next DNF, as you can see here, is Antonio Giovinazzi, so I'll just quickly skip to where he DNFs. Okay, so it's around here. Going down the hangar straight, I believe this one is. He just gets caught in a collision that I need to show the actual, like, why it happened, so that it's explained. To do that, we need a Lacey here. Driving down, that is Esteban Ocon, I believe. Yes, it is, because the TV's out. And so he is sent off the track, but like we now need to actually go and find Esteban Ocon's camera to show actually what happened. But so here's what Esteban Ocon saw. This is the only good camera angle. He comes back into a Lacey, sending him spinning out. And then a Lacey gets going again, but there is Giovinazzi, who is caught up in the kerfuffle that is caused here, where he gets sent spinning around, and so all of the cars are slower, meaning they're all more grouped together, which ends in Giovinazzi coming together with the group of cars. So yeah, that was very badly filmed there, but yeah, that's what kind of happened. Next up is George Russell's DNF. There's me flying everywhere. And somehow I get away with doing so much cutting of corners without getting a penalty, and there goes Russell. I'll show it from his cockpit now. So, driving there, I come into the Tsunoda even, I'm an idiot, and then I slam Russell into the bollards at the side, taking him out the race. As I was driving all over the place there, I just thought I'd show the extreme corner cutting I was doing, without getting a penalty. The FIA was being stupid, I guess. And so I managed to cut into the lead and take out another driver without even really doing it, looking like I'm doing it even. I don't think, hold on a minute. Never mind what I was saying, I was just being a bit silly. So next up is Ocon. He's the next DNF. So he comes forward and bang! Out of the race from Carlos Sainz, who doesn't go out of the race. I'll show it why Carlos Sainz was sideways for a second now. So this is why Sainz was sideways. He gets hit and spin and around and oh, I've taken someone out. Anyway, now I'll show what Ocon's camera show. I really cannot speak sometimes. Anyway, he just drives forwards, loses tyre. Normal for me. Also, this happens after I've knocked out those two. I accidentally knock Hamilton wide, sending him like covering the entire track. At least I think this is Hamilton. Hold on. Yes, it is. But so like he covers the whole track and stops everyone from like driving forwards. So that happens. Next up is Zhou Guanyu, but I just wanted to show how slowly Nikita Mazepin is moving after his little spin here. Like he drives into the track and just starts driving very, very slowly down the center. Anyway, following these guys to get back to Zhou, we'll now show where he crashes. Right at the end, just before the start finish straight. Slammed into the wall and like just before the end. I just realised a second after I said that this is before Copse Corner, not the first turn of the track. This just looks like the start finish straight because it's used for another start finish straight. Anyway, that's how when Zhou gets crashed out. Now for good old Yuki Tsunoda. It's sad that he is no longer in F1 for 2026. I would have liked to see him still racing, but ah well. Into the wall. And through other cars. Somehow not hitting any, luckily. So here it is. Into the wall. And then there's Nobuharu also getting hit off, but like not going out of the race. Nobuharu down the start finish straight, slightly behind, tries to get ahead, and oof, knocked into the gravel trap. Next up is Mick Schumacher. So he collides with me, spins into the road, and through the air, spinning round and around. I don't know why, but the way that I said that made me laugh, but like, it's down, spinning through the air, round and round, spinning. Let me just show who hits him to spin. This is the person that makes him spin right round. Okay, I'm not going to try and spin me baby right round. I don't know actually what it's called, but I'm not going to try and sing it. Oh yeah, Hamilton also DNFs here. Probably because of that collision now I think about it. Like, his engine would have been pretty scuffed up with it. There's dust, slowness, and oof, that is a very weird looking crash, which sends Mick out and also Hamilton out. I'm going to try and show the crash in slow motion because maybe that will make it pick up better because there's not going to be any smoke. So I come into Nobuharu there, then Hamilton sends Mick flying through the air into a spin, sending him to the side and also making Hamilton kind of drift there, which then leads to Mick DNFing. Oh, hold on, I just need to check something because somehow Lance Stroll ended up in the middle there, and I don't actually know how, because like right here he's in third. So I'm just gonna quickly figure out what happened there. Okay, so here's how Lance goes from third to like the back of this group. So there he was in fourth, and he spins out. All of those guys go past, including Hamilton, which is how he ended up in between the two DNFs, and then he kept going. So he wasn't really in third, but he also was. Anyway, the next DNF is this guy. The DNF's right here, but I just want to quickly show what happens. So as we go along, I was trying to do what I did to Pierre Gasly to Giuliano Alesi there. I failed, Giuliano just went a bit wide. But so then I take out my teammate and also take out Sainz and try and take out Fernando. More precisely, I attempt to take out my teammate, slanging him into the wall a couple of times and failing. So he gets ahead of me. And in my failure, I come into the other two, sending Alonso spinning around and around. No, I'm not trying to sing that song again. And then it also, I think, is what causes slight DNF. Yeah, his engine goes fuzzy and he's out. My failed attempt on the previous laps led to the Honey Badger himself, Daniel Ricciardo, DNFing by me a few laps later. I just take him out at the start, finish straight. So yay, he's out the race. Anyway, I'll show it from his camera because why not? So here the Honey Badger drives forwards and into the wall he goes. So there we are. The next DNF is good old Daddy's Money, Mr. Strulovich, Lancey Boy, or Lance Stroll himself. The guy who is on the grid because of Daddy's Money, no driving experience. Okay, I'm going to stop being like kind of rude and mean. But anyway, he goes and like spinning around. No, I'm not saying spinning a right round. Oh my god, I keep saying that. Okay, here it is. So driving forwards, 340, into the wall, spinning round and around. His engine is gone. So Daddy's Money obviously didn't give him an engine or suspension able to survive a spin. Okay, that's rude and mean and a joke. Okay, I need to stop being weird. The next DNF is the rookie. Of course, that's Fernando Alonso, but I just wanted to quickly do this filming of the lovely camera shot here. Anyway, I'll actually show the rookie DNFing now. And not Nikita Mazepin as I was showing, but anyway, his engine's slowing down. He can't keep up. And so, he's out the race. The rookie has failed to finish the race. Anyway, now Nikita Mazepin, and we go on to the last few. Despite the fact that I keep making reference to the Spin Me Right Round song, which I don't know the actual name of, Mazepin himself does not have a spinning crash. He's just in the wall just before Cops. So Mazepin comes around, and into the wall I shove him. So no spin for Mazepin. To the final 3 DNFs we go. We have Giuliano Alesi starting off, where I slam him into the wall there, which I'm pretty sure is what causes him to DNF, because he goes up wide off the track and parks up. So out of the race is Giuliano Alesi. And now for 2 more drivers, Nobuharu and Sergio. And I had a very difficult time with this, because at the end of this lap I decided to go into the pits. And so, after changing my tyres, Nobuharu gets ahead of me. And I spend a long time hunting him down. Even at one point I got the fastest lap because of my new soft tyres, just because I was chasing him down. And I finally got him on the final lap here. Oh god, that's a terrible angle. Anyway, so here I've managed to get ahead of him finally. And I decide to try and do what I've done to so many other drivers, and I failed. I literally failed it. And the reason I tried it there and on this lap after I'd overtaken him is because, as you can see there, first place, Perez, also, that air time is so weird. But, like, first place, Perez is right behind him, so I was hoping that if I could get him to DNF, I could get him to lose control and slam into Perez. Yeah, like, that is such weird airtime. Like, the way that this goes in, he completely stops and looks like he tries to jump over me, like a Mario Jumpman guy hop. That is so weird. Anyway, I do get him later on in the lap, so that's good enough. So Perez is catching up, and here is where I get Nobuharu, I think. Yep, I make him DNF like that with his engine braking. And I'll show it from a different angle. Mine. So I've gone wide here around Cops so I can turn in, slam them both into each other, which damages Nobuharu enough to DNF him, but not Perez. Like, here's what he saw. Driving with a person he's been driving with, and the driver just immediately stops. Meaning that his engine just cuts itself out. And so then we've got Perez as well, who then gets going again. Starts driving forwards. And then there is me. And he is out the race. I'll show it from the cinematic now. He's just come out from his crash just before Cops. There is Nobuharu. Driving forwards. And bang! Slight spin, no. And he's out the race. Now I'll show it from my camera. I do my weird shtick, as usual, and get him to hit me. So, he is now out of the race. Then I go into the pits for a set of fresh new mediums, for whatever reason. At least it isn't inters like on another race I've done recently. But so I get going. I'm just going to do the final lap on double speed. And come around the corners. There's Cops. Through Maggots and Beckett's, I think. I don't actually know most of the corner names. I know the Hanger Straight, Cops, and Maggots and Beckett's. I don't actually know most of the corner names. But there I am coming in first. And apparently Sergio and Nobuharu did well enough to get a 1 lap down and 2 laps down respectively. Somehow, despite the fact that they didn't actually finish their races. Like, that's not how it is in Formula 1. You have to get to the end of the race, otherwise you get a did not finish. Yes? Or am I just stupid? Anyway, I'm now going to show the current driver standings. So here they are. After getting no points in the race and Nobuharu getting 15, Nobuharu Matsushita has now overtaken Lando Norris and is now in the lead of the Drivers' Championship. First place on his rookie season. Then down in third from second is Latifi. And then starting fourth, Bottas, Perez fifth, and Zhou in sixth. And then there's me in seventh, going up a lot from my previous position with 28 points, I believe it was. Yes, it would have been. But my teammate Daniel Ricciardo was on 29, so 1 point ahead of me. But also between that gap, we have Mick, Carlos, Esteban, and Stroll. Them still down at the bottom. This lot of guys: Fernando, Charles, Pierre, Yuki, Giuliano, George, Max, Nikita, Lewis, and finally in last place with 4 points, Antonio Giovinazzi. But everyone does have points, so that's nice. It's the 10th round, yes it is. That's a lot of rounds in. Anyway, I think this actually is my longest Carnage episode, longer than Abu Dhabi, and only one it's shorter than, I feel like it's probably the one with Bahrain that's like an hour. Here's the constructors. Aston Martin doing very well with Alpine in second. Those are not the two teams I would expect, because they're most likely going to be last in the 2026 season with their weird problems with like nerve damage and stuff, and Fernando not being able to hold it down straights on China. Also, this is being filmed just after the Suzuka race in Japan, so I don't know. I think we'll still be in the spring break that's being caused because of no Bahrain and no Saudi because of the Iran conflict with like the USA. But anyway, Aston and Alpine, the most likely going to be loser of 2026 season and last place in the 2025 season. McLaren and Red Bull, like, kind of where they would be. Then my team. Then Mercedes, Ferrari, not doing very well. Then Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, Haas, and then in last, Williams, which is probably to be expected because this is a game from 2021 before Williams has got to be more midfield than being bottom of the grid. Anyway, they have 35 points. I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, I'm pretty sure that is like the most points of a last place team there's been the Formula 1 history. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.